Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gears Pro League. I'm Blaze, joined with Jacob PR, and we are about to go into our second series of the day. It is Rebel going up against the Pioneers, and man, both of these teams have had their successes and struggles throughout the Pro League, and I will say this, I think this is an even matchup, all right, as we close out our final day.
I know, with Rebels' recent successes, the Pioneers' recent struggles, I like what you said. Kind of a perfect matchup, a perfect testament to what they're going to have the chance to bring to the table with E-Day's playoffs tomorrow, that major right around the weekend, the All-Star game. There's still so much for these players to fight for, but at the end of the day, you have to be able to tighten up in a lot of these games.
You truly do. You truly do. And, you know, because this is actually going to tell us what we need to know about both these squads because Rebel, they've been hot, right? They've been good. Are you the real deal? And you're going to run through the Pioneers right now. Pioneers on recent struggles. Are you going to get ran through by a team that you used to handle single-handedly anytime you played up against them, okay? Are you going to let this hot new Rebel walk all over you? Are you really just a shell of yourselves? Are you guys really ponytail now? Okay, we're going to have to see how bright that fire is burning. So, but now let's start kind of really talking about both of our teams here today. And who are we going to talk about here first? Let's find out. Let's see. Let's go to talk about Pioneers first, okay? Let's talk about the Pioneers. I can't hear my producer sometimes because of my audio issue, so we'll sit here all day as I try to figure it out, okay?
It's all good, Blaze. It's all good.
I'm cool, yo. I ain't got nowhere else to be. Hell, this is going to be the longest pro league. I thought it was going to be the longest pro league day in history. I was hoping I had some of that energy in me, all right? Hey. So let's start talking about the Pioneers, but I know what I need to do next time, Jacob. I'm just going to call one team, and we just going to be there when we get there.
You gotta trust them. It's like that trust fall. You just got to fall and just let it happen at the end of the day. Bronny, Xysho, Acells, and Hndles, they're falling right now. They're falling down the rankings, but they have trust in each other like we're talking about, that they're going to catch each other and not let them slip any further. And you said it yourself, this is a perfect test for them right before the big money right around the corner.
Yeah, this is going to be the perfect test for them. I agree with you, man. You know, this roster, we watched them when they finally got Bronny, right? You know, we had some questions for them that season. They looked more human than anything outside of this season, that is. And, you know, they were just kind of growing to Bronny, but they showed up when it mattered, right? And so we always knew that we couldn't count them out. This last major that went past, they kind of fell a little bit short. It wasn't what they was expecting, but we know that they're going to be in that final form when the major hits. But this new Rebel team, all right, they haven't been together in a previous split. This is the first split. In the last split, they will be together. And so they've had to learn a lot quickly. And, you know, yesterday going up against that Knights matchup, Jacob, you know, as we were watching Taylor and Colin casted, you know, we realized that they've actually been doing their homework, okay? And, you know, it's crazy what actually studying and having some heart will do.
Yeah, and honestly, it's crazy how you take out Hndles, who's the lead king of Latin America. You kind of think about the strategy and everything that he can bring to a roster. You insert in Monkyz, who's actually going to be our player to watch today, and it changes things up. It changes the genetic makeup. It allows them to play more in towards the meta and how the game is played right now, where you can put all the pressure onto Monkyz, and I think yesterday proved that he is ready for that pressure.
It does prove it, you know, and you see his damage per 10 minutes, you know, it goes back to where rightfully is, you know, when he's not trying to, you know, share those damage numbers with Fiercely, and he's going to be in position number 2. You know, kill participation is 34, you know, KDA is 17th. While the big discrepancy there, hey, sometimes it just depends on who's there cleaning up those kills for you at the end of the day, okay? All right, so, you know, we got both of our rosters laid out. And now we'll see what field we're going to be playing on soon. And we'll take a look at these picks and bans in a bit. But, you know, for now, Pioneers, man, I really want them to come out swinging today, okay? Like, it's been a while since I've seen Pioneers doing jumping jacks and beating people up round 2 in execution just because they knew they were going to win a series. Like, they go into these series like, we don't know how it's going to go today. And before, it wasn't even a question. It was just like, we showing up for work. It's just another day. It's another workout. Well, man, talk about old age catching up to you as we see Pioneers. They're going to ban out the Spire Control, the Fear Execution, and then the Harbor Escalation, Jacob.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna see like a ritual or a regency when it comes to controls. Maybe a clock tower. I was gonna say check out for a moment, see it right there, but maybe a clock tower. And then just trying to figure out what else. Maybe Harbor's gone. You know, Vasgar is gonna be that one in the middle. So coming out of this one,
they took out their worst maps.
Yeah, for just looking at the bans, of course. We can obviously still see the picks, but just already looking at the bans, it just seems like if Rebel can keep on that hot place, we're going to have a lot of CQC, quick aggression style maps. So if they can continue in the same style of play as yesterday, I think they have the good chance, but it depends on the maps.
Yeah, and Rebel wants to go ban out some of Pioneer's better maps that they didn't want to have to play against them on, that they maybe lost before in the past. So our Psycho Rebel, they pick 3. We're gonna get a Reactor control, Clock Tower execution, Vasgar escalation, Ritual control, and if we go the distance, we will have that Canals execution there. Man, so as I'm looking at this cycle, I think Pioneers has to finish this within 4. All right.
Yeah, plays 2 Ps in a pod, start and end the Pro League. I'm thinking Rebel maybe wins map number 1. They start off okay, but then the Pioneers pick it back up. Clock Tower, Vasgar, Ritual. I think it is 3-1. I'll be a little concerned for the Pioneers at the end if we do go to Canals execution because Kardia. But overall, I think Pioneers got it.
Yeah, nah, I think the Pioneers got it as well. I share your same sentiments. I think Rebel can take map number 1 as well. But right after that, Pioneers in that clock tower, they can tie it up. I think they get the lead in Vasgar escalation and take the momentum in the series, and then they close out on Ritual and they're done with it. That's how we're feeling about it, and we can actually just lean on over into our predictions because me and Jacob, I think the jig is up. Okay, you know where our allegiance is gonna lie. I'm going Pioneers, everybody. I feel like this is a series where they know that, well, it's not that they know that they have to win it because I honestly don't think they have to win it. I don't think their seeding is going to change much at all. But I just think when it comes down to pride, the big stage, you know, when it comes down to the fans, when it comes down to themselves, most importantly, they're not trying to take no losses and they're not trying to, you know, break no hearts out there. So they'll be the best version of themselves today. I'm going with the Pioneers.
Yeah, on both sides of that coin, I think Rebel needs to shut out everything that isn't their 4 players on the roster and the coach. No more outside noise creeping in, affecting them in any way, shape, or form, because they have shown so many strides of progression. Overall, though, I think the Kansas City Pioneers have the best chance because this is the last game of the Pro League season. E-Day's tomorrow, major right around the corner. They realize they have fallen down the rankings way more than they have ever imagined at this point in time. So even though I don't think we're going to see the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse here, I still think we're going to see a Pioneer squad that is very, very dangerous and a little bit of a teaser going into the major.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, okay? And, you know, if Rebel stomps them today, yo, we're going to have a fun post-game show, okay, after this series, all right? We're going to have a real fun one. But chat, are you aligned? How are you feeling? You going with Rebel or the Pioneers? Pioneers. Okay, chat, y'all aligned as well. We see how you guys are thinking today, when we'll see who is going to be right. But nonetheless, I think we got a great series on our hand as we kick this off with some Reactor control, Jacob.
Yeah, I love it. Right out of the gate, we're going to have some players swinging left, right, and center. But the real difference in this map compared to a lot of the other ones is you have choices. Do you go for the early capture, try to get that weapon in your hands, or do you play for everything else? Play for the position, the shot grenade, the torque bow at the top side of the map, to where there is more to play for, but it requires you to execute once you get the weapons in your hands.
All right, here we go. Map number 1, Reactor control. Kicking this one off with Mono himself, as he is taken out right off the start, and Bronny will get the first 2 kills, but Crack responds with 2 of his own. Acells takes down Crack. He's left with Kardia in the hill, and Kardia, he has multiple players behind him, but does he know it yet? He should see his teammates spawn behind, and that'll give him the confidence to press forward, hold the line. He'll be able to identify 2, Jacob.
Yeah, that was a big elimination there in the 1v1 because you said it. That spawn player reinforcements are on the way. Acells didn't even necessarily need to push up onto that. He needed to wait for his teammate to come in, but that just goes one bad decision, but already making up for it. Takes down Monkyz. Kardia trying to be the defined defense on the actual hill, but two players are threatening that exchange. They're trying to split him up, make him make that decision, but he's doing a good job of holding his own until then. That goes an elimination from Bronny, and the hill going back on over to the Pioneers.
Now the Pioneers, they got two players in the hill. They're relaxing. They'll at least walk away with the lead. Rebel, hey, it was a close fight. It's pretty much tie game. You within 10. Start playing for next, and Rebel has done that. You also going to have Hndles camped out at the bottom of the hill. They don't know if he's here just yet, but do they want to check? Do they want to clear? Kardia felt like he checked a little bit. They wanted that flash to bounce down, but instead it didn't get a bounce at all. And you almost see Hndles come away with a big kill to make it a 3v3. At that point, his team just has the right to really rush that hill, as the respawns would have been chaotic, but now it just slows down, Jacob. Frag out.
Kind of split up as well. Xysho just trying to take one angle towards the bottom, but he's by himself. Hopefully he doesn't bite off more than he can chew, because as soon as Rebel sees it, they can try to go with those frag grenades to try to keep them at bay. Hndles going down. 3v4 is going to continue. Make it 2v4 as Bronny gets dropped as well. Xysho and Acells cement themselves on the actual hill and are able to get it down onto one player, but the elimination not being cleaned up just yet. Finally it does, but that goes answered back as Xysho and Acells will fall. And already you can see Rebel working together, wolf packing in unison, but on the Pioneers, they're getting taken out one by one, or even as duos.
Yeah, one by one. Hndles trying to help his squad out, but he has eyes in the back of his head, and he had to square up for the 1v1. Acells presses in. Quick revive from Xysho. A stronghold from Rebel. Big 1v1 from Hndles. Now Rebel's feeling a little bit of pressure. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him make a desperation move. But Hndles from downtown connects with the bow. But we see so many members of the Pioneers backing up now, Jacob.
Yep, now they got to watch out. Spawn point is going to come in, so this is an opportunity here for them to try to sandwich on two different angles. And if they hold themselves and they become a little bit more stagnant, that'll be a blessing, because frag grenades are about to come up as well. But you see, with the third player rotating on over, they want to try to go after the actual hill location first and not have to worry about that spawn point second.
Hndles has two bowls left in the chamber, three players in front of him. We got a mirror matchup, man-on-man across the map. Look at your mini-maps, folks. Acells takes a little bit of his damage from his teammates. Oh, the nade! Perfectly tossed for his Hndles at the hop. Xploidz will save one. His teammates take a quick 2v1 on Acells in a corner. They're hunting down Bronny, and Bronny puts himself in an annoying spot. Has help from Xysho. They can hold back here together. That type of position is like, you know, you can hold off an entire unit, and they're going to get a whole unit joining them with Hndles and a fridge as well with Acells. The pressure is on Rebel, but can they handle it? Have they been doing their squats or not? They're holding the line for now. The shot grenade is a huge help, and down in the corner, Kardia takes down Acells. Bronny's cleaned up, and Hndles looking for some help from Xysho. We talked about that position, being able to hold back an army. But that angle from Xysho, he is able to push back Kardia, but as he's taken out, Hndles stays alive. But when you look at the hill, when you look at where majority of the points have went, hey, it's in favor of Rebel.
Yep. They get 118 points right here. And this is the thing, Blaze. They're doing exactly the same style of play that they did yesterday against PK. They're wolf packing together. They're making those smart decisions. They're backing off of fights, and they're playing directly into their numbers. On the other side, though, Pioneers continuously playing individual, trying to be the heroes in a lot of these plays, and it looks like they're even on different pages with different timings as Crack picks up Xysho across the map. Knows Acells is slowly right behind him. This is going to be a big battle as Acells comes out on top. That gives him another angle to work with as Bronny picks up another one. Forget about angles. They just get all of the hill. It's now theirs.
All of the hill in their favor. You got Pioneers looking to collect on some much needed time as they're down by 60. Xysho in a 1v1 misses a crucial shot. He ended up taking 2 free shots, but he got some help from Hndles to save him. Now Xysho gets 2 good shots there on Mono to clean up the kill. Mid-map control in favor of the Pioneers. They also got some good power weapon control as well as Xysho tosses out that last nade onto Crack. Crack can't do anything about it. Hndles with the pickup on a shot grenade. Pioneers got everything that they need to get this lead back.
Those are monster. Those are monster shots though coming out from Xploidz. Flashes in, trying to disperse these players. Acells taking a good amount of damage from the backside, still trying to go forward though, knowing the bait and switch is the only way possible. He's able to go in, getting it down onto one, but with Hndles and Acells fall, Revive is in. Rebel once again taking control of the remainder of the time. That'll get them about to 145 if they want to bleed every single second dry or give themselves enough cushion to try to rotate. You see Xploidz has that in mind.
Now Xploidz, he needs some help in mind too as well, and I think he's calling for it as he knows there wasn't too many moves he could make in that corner. 4v3 on the map here for the Pioneers as they move into this next hill, right where they want to be. With a forward defense, crack mid-map, a quick shot onto Xysho, no hesitation. Hndles on the escape, he gets caught as well, and Crack. He'll crack that defense wide open as you have two separate 2v1s across the map, each being won by Rebel as they are now in the hill. Crack!
Wow. He's just going terrorizing everybody left and right. It was a 3 straight torque bows back to back to back to give themselves the hill and a potential to bring that lead even wider than it was moments ago. But the Pioneers are trying to close the gap. They're trying to close down that opportunity for players. And a lot of that information has already been given out by the marks that you see going left, right, and center.
That's definitely a contender for the eSwap X final play of the day. Crack put his bid up on the board. Now, as the nades are being picked up, Pioneers there for each other for the revives. Xploidz being annoying, not trying to allow these players to get their health back. Forces a weird nade, a desperate nade to be tossed to alleviate some pressure. There's a flash, doesn't do much. Not enough to scare Xploidz. You got players flashing their teammates now. Mono on the flank with the Lancer, putting out some decent damage. Allows his teammates to move in and get 2 easy kills as the third will scurry away. And he'll get away just barely. Bronny, can he save the day? 1v1. Has help from the team. It's a 2v4 now though, Jacob. 3v4 now. Still the Pioneers down a man. Down players. The revive is there. Bronny comes huge. But will it be enough as Hndles will find a kill on his own? The Pioneers, they fight back. Kardia is the last one down, and the Pioneers, they'll hold the line.
Perfect answer back and perfect revives. Threading the needle on the distance as Xysho trying to put out the damage. A couple down, going to be rewarded, but no eliminations just yet. Unless you're talking about Rebel, where Monkyz is able to get that elimination. Open up that window of opportunity through the spawn with 45 seconds left for grabs. They're going ahead and continuing their journey forward. Xploidz gets lost along the way, though. Crack soon to follow. Kardia's in danger with damage going out, but Monkyz trying to be the hero. He's able to take down Acells, but that's where the story ends. They get dropped, and a new story begins, Blaze. It's called the comeback of the Pioneers.
But is it a tale that is gonna come true? Does it have enough juju? Has it been told enough? Is it the energy behind it? We've seen it. We've told it a lot. But can the Pioneers make this comeback true? They're close to it. It's a lot of work still to be done. And Hndles, he says, you know what? I ain't done working. Great shot there from Mono as he takes him out. Xysho will get the down, but you see in a collapse of players onto Xysho as they'll pick up the kill. Bronny has a bow, and he's mid-map too as well. Puts himself in a position to get some more kills. Acells with the nades, all power weapons in control of the Pioneers as we get our first lead change of the game. That tail looking like it may come to fruition.
And with Xysho's weird spawn up top middle, he has to know something fishy's going on. That's a flank spawn coming out from Kardia Monkyz. They're trying to survive. Trades going back and forth with Crack and Hndles, both getting dropped. Frag grenades to alleviate the pressure, followed by a flash, and the Pioneers will be able to hold on to their position for now. But that's not going without a fight as Rebel send a couple players in. Flashes towards the backside, but nothing to make them feel comfortable, Blaze, to try to go ahead and step foots into the hills.
But look at that crossfire there. Put a lot of pressure on Hndles, and they'll get some return crossfire. They back up because they know help is coming. They had to give up the hill for 3 seconds to possibly gain 10. Rebel knows that they're trying to fight their numbers, but Xysho and Acells say, forget your numbers, and Xploidz say, I don't care about you too. He's looking for the triple, but Bronny comes in at the right time, and it's all about the last man standing on the hill, and that man is wearing blue.
From down about 6 points before this one started, being up over 45 here in just a few seconds, and that one will continue to grow depending on how many of these points Bronny wants to bleed dry. And that shows that the tables have turned. Pioneers now are in the lead with only 68 points to go. They could win on any one of these hills at any moment.
Any hill, any moment, especially at the pace in which they've been playing at, Jacob. They haven't slowed down. They've just been gradually getting better throughout the map. They've been getting scary. As you see, they catch 2 players in their web of electrifying gameplay. It's a 4v2 on the map. Kardia fighting for his team's life. He has a 1v1 against Hndles, and he says, I fought you plenty of times before, but Hndles say, I always got help. What you gonna do, Kardia? Set another trap for him.
You can see that was Bronny that went back down to help. They're trying to take this 3v3 as quick as possible. Hndles with the frag, trying to rotate him back, but Bronny in the nick of time, able to stop Monkyz, help Acells, and help the team defend the hill and get them even one step closer to victory, because you see there's 45 left on the clock, and all they need is 40 seconds.
All they need, 40 seconds, and there's plenty of time on the hill. I don't know about the word plenty, but just enough. 1 bow left in the chamber, looking to put it on the ground. It goes deep, no splash damage, but those 2 nades looking to get a little splash damage if you ask me, but they get nothing. What do I know? Maybe on the second nade, surely Hndles doesn't botch too. The trap is there, but he stays composed. He uses just a few pellets from his shotgun to put out that little bit of tipping pressure to get those players out the hill, and he saves his team advantage. He doesn't give too much in that fight, and that just shows discipline on his part, and we talked a lot about that as this series kicked off. Now you got the Pioneers rotating to take over the spawn, but they will be met by equal force, and I say equal lightly because that nade, as it comes out, it will be able to force Crack into a difficult position, and now the Pioneers has the force, the horsepower that they need to press through to the hill as Mono is taken out. Kardia left at the hill. He's like, hello? Anyone here?
Nope,
no one.
Not anymore, as Hndles shows them the exit. 13 seconds left. 1 player's down. Xploidz stuck in a fight. Needs to have a miracle happen, and that miracle is going to be denied as he gets taken down and eliminated, as the Pioneers will complete the comeback and take out Rebel in map number 1.
Man, what a great comeback that was in the late game of Reactor. And when we kicked this one off, we talked about it. We said we ain't seen no jumping jacks in a while, okay? And Acells says, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna give you a crowd favorite, okay? But we got to work for it, and they did. Rebel made them work for it, Jacob, because we think about the early game. You know, Rebel was successful off that first hill and a half, right? The first 2 hills, you know, winning some big team fights. They had some good power weapon controls. The individual plays was there. But where did it go wrong in the mid game for the Pioneers to come back surging the way that they did?
It was honestly, I think it was more so the Pioneers, the very beginning of the game. They weren't working together, or at least the beginning half of the game. They weren't working together like you saw them kind of close it out. Wolfpack, back off of hills, go straight forward to hills, play for positions instead of just running in individually. And while Rebel was able to get their lead, you saw multiple times they were able to pinpoint targets on the side of the Pioneers that were out of position, and they were able to take those players out, keeping the numbers advantage intact. After a couple times of that happening, I think Pioneers said enough's enough. They stopped staggering themselves out, and they played like that championship caliber team we know they can be. So for Rebel, they need to figure out a way overall to continue that Wolfpack scenario, to keep their teamwork oriented strategy first and not let it get discombobulated throughout the course of the game, regardless of what goes wrong or right.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, all right? We have 2 championship rosters remaining going into the final major. 2 championship rosters remaining. That's the roster of the Pioneers, the roster of Rise. Every other roster may have championship players, but they've been mixed up over these last few splits. And so, you was to make a bracket, you will have these two guys, these two squads in the grand finals. The way the Pioneers have played as of late, we've been questioning that, but we saw that championship roster, I think, in this map. That was a hard-fought comeback, and when we saw them in a later portion of this game, it looked like they had the lead the entire time. It felt like they had the lead the entire time.
It really did feel like they were in control of the majority of the matchup against Pioneers on that map number 1. It just seemed like they just let it slip through their fingers. And you can kind of let things like that happen against maybe some of our bottom bracket teams, maybe some of our challenger teams, but you're going up against, like you said, a championship roster, a roster that's made up of players that have won and not lost for almost a full year during the season. So in order to have that early start, you need to figure out a way to replicate it, which is going to be hard though, Blaze. It is going to be hard, especially on Clocktower, to where there's so many different strategies, so many different looks you can give your opponent. It's going to be difficult for either one of these teams to have that pinpoint of what their opponent's going to do every single round.
It truly is going to be difficult, okay? Jacob's not lying, everybody. And, you know, when we looked at this series initially, you know, we said that, all right, well, you know, it's looking like a 3-1 towards the Pioneers because we felt like Reactor Control should go on over there towards Rebel. But, you know, we saw after that first map, that's not what it's looking like, okay? Rebel is feeling good in control. So what the Pioneers need to do, what Rebel needs to do, they're going to have to rely on their sharpshooters. They're going to have to rely on their snipers, okay? And they got 3 great maps to do it. As we going over towards Clocktower, Rebel, they have to put that pressure there down towards the snipe lane. Lean over there towards Xploidz and Crack and let them make those big plays. Kardia has been playing great on a secondary as of late. You go to Harbor, you can get yourself some M-bars and some snipes on the map, okay, and get a jiggy there. And then you got Canals in map number 5. So Rebel, the first win condition out the door, kind of. You know, or maybe this was their win condition all along. I know they want to win out 3-0, but as we know, one thing is about gears, and, you know, if you ever played in a 5-game series with a little bit of bread on the line, you know that the series is ever changing. Okay, as you're gathering intel about your opponents, you know, you realize that, hey, well, we probably can't play them as aggressive as we want today because these guys are hot, but they're also a little bit hot too loose. Let's play back, set some traps, and play that mental mind game round by round, trying to figure out what your opponent's going to do and then counter.
Yep. And honestly, this is the perfect opportunity too, because Clocktower, they have a different player. When they had Identives on this roster for Rebel, you can see they try to get the sniper into 2 different players' hands. You let Identives get loose. You kind of let Cardia get in his hands along with Xploidz as well. But now that he's not there,
it's all
able to really, you're really able to focus that on Xploidz, which puts a lot of pressure on Xploidz with the sniper, but it puts pressure on his teammates time in and time out to make sure that he gets the sniper in his hand. So I'm going to need to see something amazing out of Monkyz, which shouldn't really take long. We saw what he was able to do against the Pittsburgh Knights yesterday, so I don't think it's going to be impossible today.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be impossible at all. You know, if it's one thing that we've seen from this Rebel roster over the last few weeks, is it that they clearly know their role. Everyone does, okay? The 3-man firing squad, it's going to be Mono, Crack, and it's going to be Xploidz, all right? Kardia sometimes playing those 1v1 lanes. Him and Monkyz switch up sometimes, right? But the thing is that when it comes down to getting that torque bow, they'll give it to Crack. They say, all right, here you go. You know, go make the play, okay? Ritual, don't give Crack the bow. He's running all around the map on Ritual trying to stick you. Any map that has a snipe or an M-bar, they give it on over there towards Xploidz. Any map that has a drop shot, they give it on over towards Monkyz. And they're not fighting about it, okay? They know who is going to be at their best with those weapons and who has their role to fill on the team. And so that's what makes, I feel like, this Rebel team better than that squad with Identives, those clear, defined cuts there. But even with that, is it going to be enough? The last few days, it has been. They lost the map 1 against the Pioneers, but I don't think it's time to sound the alarm from Rebel, right? They're not in too big of a hole in this current moment. They're not in trouble losing that map number 1. They lose the map number 2. Yeah, they're in a lot of trouble. But Rebel typically has been more of an execution style team over the last split and a half.
Yeah, a lot of our Latin American teams in general are that execution specialist, because you got to imagine that A lot of the time when, North America, even way back, we had the pro leagues and stuff, it was the Latin American region. They were the ones, they stuck with execution. They played every variation from the underground shotgun only rules to using a little bit of everything. And even now, when you kind of watch those Ragers, it's still them that are really putting in the work. And if you think back to Ely when Gears 5 first came out, it was the Latin American rosters when it came to the aggressive meta that were the ones discovering it, really putting their best foot forward and being that tip of the spear in terms of how it is going to be played. So if anybody can really pack a punch into this one and tie the series up, it's going to be a Latin American team, and it is going to be Rebel. But if they do lose this one, just like a lot of our other Latin American teams, I think this is going to be a quick 3-0 series. I think with going down 2 maps, 2 close maps at that, they're going to begin to falter, and it's going to be a mindset thing.
Yeah, it is going to be a mindset things. LATAM squads, we know that they're super talented at escalation. They're talented at execution. Those Wolfpack play styles, being able to utilize your numbers to win rounds, right? Your speed to win rounds. You do it in those game modes, but it's one of the hardest play styles to work out in a map like Control, right? In a game mode like Control. Because, you can play a lesser team and run around the map, capping hill to hill, and be skillful to win your individual battles. But you play a good team and you over-rotate, you're going to get caught in a trap. You're going to lose your positioning, and you're losing positioning around the map as a good opponent knows how to play ahead of the game, right? And so now you're trying to learn more teamwork, and you're trying to learn how to play at a slower pace, and you're trying to get some discipline. And that's a lot harder when it's the last skill set to learn versus starting off the game at a slow pace and gradually working up to that Wolfpack style of play. And so, and that's what a lot of LATAM teams, struggle from what I feel like. So, Rebel, I will say that I think they're good at ritual control, and I do believe that is our 4th map this series. So, they have to at least get there, and it starts but winning this map.
Makes me almost wonder, Blaze, if Rebel somehow loses this map or things begin to go wrong, right? The other iteration of the roster, you would think they would lean on Identiv, the king of Latin America, to try to wield him and talk to them, getting back into this. What do you think about this Rebel roster? Who is it going to be?
I think it's Crack. It's Crack and Mono. It's Crack and Mono. 2 players with a lot of experience on this team. Even Kardia has a lot of experience, right? He may not be the best individually skilled there, but, he has a lot of experience. So Rebel can lead themselves for sure. Oh, he said, get away.
Like the bait and switch. You see, they're putting Acells there because he doesn't have as much damage, as many downs. And they're just trying to keep Monkyz out of position to do that again. He tries it anyway. He gets taken down. Crack on the host spot's going to get dropped from across from Xysho, and that leaves Xploidz by himself. 1v4 situation. He's going to need the miracle. He's going to need the power of the gods to come out on top because he saw the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse chasing him down.
I respect it though from Mono. I do, because when you're there on the edge, you got to make a play for the team. Either you're going to sit there and wait for a play to be made on you, or you're going to find a small little opening, right? Maybe the opening is when your opponent is switching weapons. Maybe it's when he's reloading, right? You see him pop that reload, you make a move out left. That's one of the best times to, try to find a kill in those moments. But he tried. He tried. Now, let's see if they get off to a better start, as the Pioneers are up 1-0. Gonna have Kardia and Xploidz playing together there towards that back lane. We got flashes out for both teams. Xploidz goes down. Easy cleanup there from Hndles. But Kardia finds that kill on Xysho. We're back to a 3v3 with that sniper still down mid-map.
Yep, a sacrifice to keep the sniper out of the hands of Rebel. With only 1 player online in this situation for both of these teams, it's going to be a strategy. They're going to be waiting for that perfect moment. You can see Hndles still has a flash intact. So does Bronny. On the other side, though, it's going to be dry. No more utility in hand. So it's all up to Pioneers here. Maybe not all up to the Pioneers, but it's going to be in the Pioneers' hands with the extra utility to do exactly what they want when they want.
The best snipers on each team got taken out off the start. And honestly, I'm not sure if the sniper is even going to play a factor into the rest of this round. It did disappear. But I think that you maybe just stalemate this one out because you do have a hill up top. Oh, he played it close. He knew that that player had to look and check the corner to see if he actually went in. And he tried to use that little bit of timing to get into that one-shot range. Great effort, but even better support coming out from Mono off the top of the host spot to even just shoot down on the Acells. Oh, they should catch him off. Catch him out.
They should as well.
The nerves. They there. They got to finish off this kill. You got to play up. He's still weak. They get him. But Hndles forces a play up top. Now a 2v1 has Bronny at the top of the jail. Rebel ties it up 1-1.
Mark that whole time. Crack was just waiting for him. Test me. He knew he was there, even though he did not have the advantage, but quick plays from Crack towards down low. Like you said, he tried to take advantage of Acells, but even though he wasn't able to get the elim, he got those frags. He immediately got out, and because he put the pressure with those frag grenades, that put the pressure on his teammates to go ahead and just stay alive. That's all they needed to do, and that's what they did.
Here we go. It's round number 3. You're gonna see Crack get free nades, but how quickly can the Pioneers respond as they make a move around secondary? They finally get up to the sniper, and they're gonna have to push across, but Kardia was waiting for it. He'll pick up a kill, and I think the Pioneers' reaction was really slow. They didn't get a great head count on those numbers, and they'll fall suit to the nade trap of Rebel as Acells is running away. Oh, he cut back quickly to get one. He actually finds one. Almost found a second. Those shots still hurt.
I've seen crazier things happen when Acells is on the field. Call him the walking multi-kill. That was just an overall great execution. You could see the Pioneers trying to overthrow the top side of the map, but because they weren't successful, they didn't push them off of the back pillars, off of the back steps. A well-placed frag grenade from Crack was all that they needed. That got them a double kill, that got them the man advantage, and they were able to close out yet another round.
All right, here we go. On to the next. Mono versus Xysho. On the secondary, both geared up. You see the little reload there, a little swap of the weapons. Flash down the back lane. Bronny gets out successfully with the scope. Misses the headshot. It looked like it was lined up to me, but instead he'll hit the ground. Foot not fully planted, but against that wall, yes, perfect accuracy. He'll slide out just in time. Still holding this position.
Bronny just didn't react quick enough to the player going down to the host spot, but still reacting nonetheless, trying to rotate that around, giving him the best angle. And here on the host spot, Blaze, you know as well as I do, you see the guy at the back pillar, you see the guy at the line, you see everybody as the switch up comes through, trying to give it to Xysho. As soon as he drops it, that's where Rebel are trying to advance, and it's gonna work. They get first blood, taking down Hndles. Acells is down low with the torque bow, trying to collect all the weapons like it's Pokemon cards.
Yeah, and you know, at first I was questioning the spawns of, you know, Xysho and Bronny coming to this map, because I know Xysho is, I feel like he is the better sniper, right? You know, we've seen Bronny get some headshots before, but Bronny mechanically is better than Xysho to be able to get in there and grab that snipe. But I think Xysho can play this map as a front spawn, and it may be better for him. But that back pillar position is a whole nother ball game, and I think Xysho may be better for that one, watching over his teammates as they're picking up the snipes, and he's putting that flash down exactly where he wants it for the troops. It's a 3v2 for Rebel to go up 3-1. But now a 2v2, beautiful shots from Acells. He gets some splash damage, but missed the back A that he needed. Xploidz dodges a nade. Bronny squares up on a 1v, but ultimately the 2v1 proves to be too much. Rebel 3-1.
I won't lie to you, Blaze. There was a moment where Acells revved up that torque bow. I thought he was going to get that collateral. I thought he was going to get the headshot with the torque bow stick on the second one. And even when he did it, he still made me feel confident he was going to try to get that kill. But that goes to show at this level of play, Blaze, you cannot miss any shots. Right there would have been the kill, because he got some splash damage on Xploidz as well.
Yeah, he got the splash damage, but man, I think he may have got robbed for a double there, because they were lined up.
Looked like it.
Looked like it. Well, we're going to get all aligned as we're on round number 5. Crack on the flank, and it's a quick flank at that. Getting some damage in. Yeah, Rebel's sitting pretty. That's an easy round for him. Quick flank from Crack, and I think that ultimately that call out comes out from Rebel that they're rushing 4 up top. They saw something funny, because I don't believe that Pioneers ever even looked down low. I think they were going to start that round off initially with a 4 up top rush.
Yeah, and honestly, you could see it 2 different times, the Pioneers trying to push up top. and two different defensive strategies from Rebel. Both of them are going to be successful. So the Pioneers all-out push up top has not been working. 0% success rate so far in this matchup.
Yeah, Rebel had a better play call to start that round. That's just good job to the IGL, ultimately, is who I want to give credit to. Here we go in a slower round, number 6, to start this one off. And I'm looking at utility. Actually, I see plenty of nades and smokes on the side of Pioneers. And I see 4 on the side of Rebel. Here they all come. You guys have a push after this. Even with the extra flash, Rebel will come out on top of the fight. They get the snipe as well. The body shot isn't there. Mono goes down. It's a 3v2. And it is advantage Rebel, but you have to be quick on the other advantages on the map. No point in sitting here if you don't got no angles. Just rotate Wolfpack together, and that's exactly what they do. Is they try to make a play for the nades and the bow.
Grab one weapon to get the next weapon. Yeah, you can see exactly that. They're going to grab the torque bow first, and then they're going to work in for those frag grenades. Seeing nobody down low other than Hndles, they see it safe. They're just collecting them all and just closing out these opportunities that the Pioneers have to come back. You got to imagine, Rebels win this. They're 5-1. They're in commanding lead, and they're one step away from closing, or I should say tying us up by closing it out.
Just a few more seconds before this clock ticks down to the overhill hill. Overtime hill.
Pioneers have to try to make a move. I really don't know what that move is because they have frag grenades in that 1v1 to draw out and create space. Torque bow with the splash damage to slowly but surely move up. And then it's Hill's right there in the bottom middle. Smash damage from 2 different torque bows from Crack going to take out Hndles. That just becomes exponentially harder for Bronny.
I didn't think that first one was going to do as much damage as it did because I was gonna say the play is to push that guy while he's revving and hope he misses, you know? That's your only opportunity to get close to him, as he's feeling too confident having that power weapon. But yeah, 2 well-placed bows. 5-1 lead for Rebel. And they're showing that, hey, you guys were right. Execution is our better game mode, and Pioneers cannot keep up with us.
As soon as they're able to get that first blood or maybe catch somebody off guard, it's been all sails ahead for Rebel as they're looking to command the ship of a match. Try to tie it up. You can see both of those players, Acells and Crack, just playing with the idea of going down low, but they're just checking their opponent, not giving free passage.
When you see that early smoke being tossed by the Pioneers, they couldn't bait anything else out of Rebel. They couldn't bait anything at all out of Rebel. Rebel 4 flashes this round. They got 3 in their hands right now. Looking to make a move here. Kardia and Crack geared up. About to toss some flashes here from the back pillar. Multiple on a whole spot. You see a quick snipe pick up, and now they'll retreat back to safety. Well executed for Rebel.
That was perfectly executing, pushing up Monkyz so the guy can't cross, and just letting that bait and switch between Kardia and Xploidz really play out to secure that sniper. That was perfect from Rebel. A huge trick underneath their sleeve, and now they just got to be able to execute with the sniper yet again. With a 5-1 lead, they've been successful so far.
He gotta get off that line. Why he's smiling?
Ooh.
There we go.
Shoot it?
Monkyz, yeah, he ain't shot him yet. Man, you better shoot him in the chest. He ain't even take a shot at him. That's the easiest shot he got, is the one on the line. But he's looking for these players down low, and I can understand, you know, his team is down by 2. He's looking for one of those easier kills. 2v2. Almost catches the 3rd, and I say he was looking for those easy kills. Well, he found one up top after Kardia got the hard kill in the 1v1.
Oh, don't throw it away now. He immediately goes and beelines it towards the hill.
Why?
Throwing away his life, frag grenade over the top to try to disperse. Kardia, the down goes through, but the frag grenade gets the elimination. Pioneers stave off elimination and stay alive.
Yeah, I feel like he rushed that, you know?
He did, 100%.
Because you make the play happen up top. Great 1v1 from Kardia. Takes down Bronny and a beautiful headshot. Then he just misrolls and he ran into a fight. Like, I don't know what he was expecting there. Kardia is so far behind him. He's not even in position to draw attention in a 1v1 to get his guy. Nonetheless, Rebel, they got a lot of wiggle room to play with, okay? Pioneers, they have to win 5 in a row themselves to win out this map. And have we seen them do it before? Yeah, we have. We've seen them do a lot. We've even seen them win championships. Okay, but you know, right now we just gotta see. And Xploidz has the snipe to shut this round down. Another well-executed power weapon grab from Rebel, and they utilize all their flashes to grab it. A little bit of utility left on the side of the Pioneers, and don't forget you got some flash grenades and spawn to work with as well. And I'm speaking a lot on the nades just because on Clocktower they're so important when it comes down to executing.
And they're able to grab him because of that split second that Xploidz did go down. They had that man advantage, or at least the man advantage of players that were up, knowing that revive was going to come through. Xysho playing with his life right there. Flash grenades coming in, frag grenades coming out. One down. Xysho, he's going to be able to stave off, get eliminated, but back to the scene of the crime goes Xploidz as he's still headhunting for some headshots.
Man, you see how he's getting tagged with that shotgun from every direction?
They're testing him.
Little small pellets. Ooh, that back A hurt. He gets the revive. Could be the revive of the match as Crack is there to help. It's a 3v2, now 3v1. Xysho on the line, and the map ain't on the line no more for the Pioneers. But the series is, we're all tied up 1-1. It's a 6-2 victory for Rebel in map number 2 as Crack your MVP. What was that, a 5.0 KDA? Look at him out here. It's actually a 6.0 if we're being correct, if we're being exact. But that's Rebel getting us all tied up. When we come back, we're headed on over to Harbor Escalation to see who can get the lead in the series. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gears Pro League as we are halfway through in our series between the Pioneers and Rebel, all tied up 1-1. Pioneers winning in the respawns, and then Rebel winning in the round-based game modes in a single life here in execution. But we got to go to a blend on the 2 and Escalation or Harbor, Jacob. And so far, what you've seen between both of our squads today, how do you feel like this table is going to tilt on that Harbor map?
I mean, to me, it's going to be a little bit more concerning because what I've seen here from the Pioneers just goes to show they're not that same exact championship team that they were just a few splits ago. They're going to have a little bit of cause for concern, and I think we're going to see a Rebel squad that is hungry for more slip-ups.
I agree with you, and I have to be honest, chat, right? I've been talking about being honest this whole time, and, you know, I'll never lie to you, right? I've never done that. And I gotta tell you that I think Rebel comes away with this Vasgar Escalation, you know, just based off how their initials have been, the way that they've been, you know, the way that they've been engaging on Clocktower, the way that they've been utilizing their flashes, the way that they've been working together. I think that they could come out on top of this Escalation.
I like that idea, particularly what you mentioned about the flashes. Right now, it's looking like the Pioneers are a little unseasoned, unpracticed, and that's something that is hard for me to even believe because what they've been able to achieve up until this point as a roster, one of the most practiced rosters, winning multiple championship E-Days, dominating Pro League, and then now it looks like all of that practice is absolutely nowhere. So it's honestly a little bit concerning of what I'm going to see, but at the same time, if any map is going to wake up this roster, it is going to be Vasgar.
It is going to be Vasgar, okay? It truly is. And, you know, this Pioneers team, we've seen them just dismantle people on Vasgar before. So, you know, we'll see what happens. It's still 50-50 kind of going into the map, you know? But I love what I saw for Rebel coming off those execution rounds, you know? They shut Pioneers down every round when it came down towards the power weapons, but also Rebel set traps for them, right? They had great flanks. They didn't win solely off that snipe lane gameplay alone. You know, they had a few more tools in their arsenal, patient gameplay, flanks from Crack, and just, you know, winning man-on-man battles as well off the start of the game. So Rebel, they know what they got to do, and they are here to play. So Vasgar Escalation is going to tell me a lot about this Rebel team.
Yeah, I like the way you said, you know, that they were waiting for a lot of those flanks. And that's something that I think that really goes unnoticed about rosters is some players, they might have all the confidence to continue fighting these 1v1s in their own favor. But as soon as you know a flank is on the way, you just got to stall out. You just got to buy some time. And that's what Rebel is doing phenomenally. let me say the least, is they're buying time for each other to continue that teamwork aspect. They're sending 4 players over, they're sending 3 players over, and they're making sure that they have their best chances in terms of wolfpacking, and they're executing to perfection in terms of what we're seeing so far. And on the other side is the Pioneers, who are just not executing at all. They have a lot of opportunities that are just letting go to the wayside.
Yeah, and now as we head into Vasgar Escalation, it's time for the Pioneers to grab those opportunities again, okay? Take their destiny into their own hands and show us that they are one of the most fearsome Vasgar Escalation. Show us why they are the most fearsome, one of the most fearsome Vasgar Escalation teams out there. Because if you had to ask me, I'd say they're top 2, top 3, right? When it comes down to punishing people, okay? As a roster, this 4-man roster, this championship roster would punish anyone who stepped on his map to play against them, to the point where people were banning it out every time that they played them. So now they feel like they can let this through. Hey, you got to show them why you don't. Got to show them why you don't. Chat, y'all having a good time? Y'all feeling good out there? Hydration check. Deep breaths check. Yo, what up, Haas?
Let chat let me know for yourself, Blaze, but chat, let me know as well. So far, throughout 2 maps, is there any player you would want on your roster for this all-star game? Because you only get one, Blaze. Can't double dip. Is there anybody that's performing very, very well on each one of these rosters?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I personally have been liking the performance of Acells on Pioneers on an individual scale. You know, I feel like he has a little bit of extra oomph in his gameplay today. And, you know, when it comes down to Rebel, Crack. I'm liking Crack. Crack is the one, because I was going to say Kardia at first. You know, because I'm liking Kardia's gameplay, but I'm going to say Crack. Yeah, Crack. I'm liking Crack today.
I like that, actually.
And
I was thinking Crack as well. As much as I want to say Monkyz, I just feel like a lot of it just goes into Monkyz teams giving him the chances to do what he does. Happened on the Knights, and it's happening here again on Rebel.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just Monkyz. If he's done it on 2 different rosters, maybe it's just him. Maybe it's just him by himself, just demanding the respect that he deserves. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people didn't necessarily know Monkyz. They got their first couple glimpses of him during those Mexico City lands. So we're saying, hey, this guy might be the real deal. Then true. When he really got that shot on the Ghost Gaming / Pittsburgh Knights rosters, and they've shown what he can do when he's matched up with someone like Dezenide or Identives, that leadership to show him what he's missing in terms of experience, he's really only went forward and never looked back.
Never looked back. At all, okay, and I agree with you. You know, Monkyz, he has been super consistent on every team he's been on. He has made them better. We pretty much saw him on one roster most of his career, and but now we get a chance to see how he's working out on Rebel. All right, so here we go into map number 3, and we see 3 players of Pioneer stacked up, about to break this hill. They got a mismatch in numbers. Monkyz couldn't get the kill that he needed. He tried to get one quick, but instead they're gonna get rolled 3v2. But they did win their numbers battle on the other side of the map, so they'll overextend towards A. I don't think they'll get the decap on A, but with a big play from Crack, we highlighted him. He shakes the map up enough to make get his teammates a little bit closer.
That was high risk. That was high risk, high reward, because they were deep into the spawn. Blaze Crack was about to get spawned behind. Exactly. Revives coming through. Crack will live to tell the tale and fight another day, and it's even to force Hndles back. But for them, there's no actual heal here. So it's about putting out that Lancer damage, gathering the information, but enough information. Now they got to gather the eliminations, as Crack is going to be the first one to fall.
Xploidz trapped in the corner. Xploidz gets 2. And now joins his teammate on top of the A hill to get their second. Even though they have all this pressure towards their spawn, Crack is confident, knowing that he has that spawn protection, almost gets 2 there, but he'll still hold up the pressure towards his home hill. He'll have 2 teammates spawning right away. He'll be one of the 2.
That's how it's done.
The 2v2 being fought across the other side of the map. Hndles, he gets the little nick the little nip there on the shoulder there of Xysho of Xploidz to win that fight and get his home hill back for his team.
Right there, it was about almost tied between these two rosters. You can see the information being gathered. It's Kardia, it's Crack. They spotted up Monkyz as well. So 3 players, the information being given over. Xysho is going to try to hold his ground, but it's going to cost him and Bronny their lives. It's going to cost the Pioneers the hill, and this is the best chance that Rebel have to win round number 1.
Nah, this is the best, as they are doing a great job trying to break through their spawn. They get the C hill back, but will it be enough time to get this lead change? I think they should. They should in the last few seconds. There we go, swarming 43, but they'll lose B. But as they're losing B, they're capping A. They'll have player 7 and 8 to contest for it. This is looking like it could be a Rebel round if you ask me, folks. So far, so good. A desperation play coming out here from the Pioneers players. What a back A from Crack. All you want to do is decap B. You don't even want to fight this. You don't want to fight this. But they fight it anyway. And now it's up to the Pioneers to get a decap before the lead changes officially. And they'll do that with ease. Rebel, they just overthought it in those final few moments. But look how the Pioneers stay composed, Jacob.
That's something at least... when you win these close rounds, these close battles in the first round of it all, you might be thinking on one end, oh, it's too close, it's too quick, we got to tighten things up. But on the other end, it's like, we can do it. When things get rough, we can dust ourselves off and pick up and pull out a round.
Man, they pulled themselves out of that hole for real. Because I thought that was all going to be Rebel here in the end, especially when they hit 2 hills. But they got super aggressive onto that B hill, forcing a fight, but no fight was even forced on the other side of the map. But I guess they kind of knew that the players from the spawn were going to fight that side, so they said, well, let's get a leg up on ours. Once it came down to a 1v1, you just run through the hill, you decap, you reset the fight, and you just stay alive. You know, you let the other side of the map with numbers work out for a little bit. But here we go. Pioneers up 1-0, and Rebel, they'll be sending the majority of their numbers towards the B hill, but now they're going to even it out and play the 2-2. Pioneers trying to act quickly on getting this A hill. They catch Hndles out. Beautiful rotation from Crack once again.
Oh, it's going to be a good battle, a good opportunity to try to stretch the defense thin, because you got to think Monkyz is hot on his tail. But he's actually going to get dropped, so that hill is still going to remain under Rebel control. But even worse, Monkyz is going for the home hill of the Pioneers. On the other side of the map, they're keeping it stalemated. So Rebel, they're trying to accumulate as many points as possible, give them as much of a cushion as they need. So that way, if the Pioneers try to come back in this round, it's going to be too little, too late.
Pioneers, they're gonna have to dig deep in that strat book, okay? You know, ask themselves, what would Jackal say right about now? As they'll get 8 up here towards the front of the spawn. Rebel still holding 2 hills dominantly as they're racking up their points. And, you know, Rebel, they surrounded B hill, but they're gonna have to act soon. If not, they'll be the ones getting surrounded, and player 7 knows it. You see a few desperately move into the hill at B. And that was more so of the Pioneers players at B making a move, because their teammates said, hey, we're getting our home hill back. If you get in pinch, you get in pinch. All right? We'll see you off the respawn. We got to bring balance back to this map some way. And that usually starts with getting your home hill.
Only 2 more shots left in the chamber. Make it 1 as he misses that first shot. Still getting back down. Information is going to be crucial at this point, as you see the all-out push on the other side of the map. But that's going to be a split up. Xysho's trying to make a rotation to save the day. He gets the information marked in the back, but Bronny doesn't have help. As Xysho gets down in the middle, now it's all up to Bronny here with the world on his shoulders. Damage over the top. He gets dropped, and Rebel are trying to not only shut this round down, but convincingly take it away from the Pioneers' grasp.
Yeah, they convincingly won this round, I want to say in the first half of this map, if you ask me. Just their great home hill control of CNA, and just their composure at B, and waiting until the Pioneers was forced to make a desperate move, because they put them in a desperate situation early when the first few fights, right? And so they did a good job maximizing any advantage in which they got. So kudos to Rebels tying this up 1-1 in map number 3. I doubt we see any early power weapons come through either right about now.
I don't think so either. I think it's just too evenly matched. Map 1, map 2, split right down the middle. Round 1, round 2, split right down the middle. I think they're going to continue to upgrade, possibly bring out the retros, but I also wouldn't be shocked if they kept a Talon on the map and kept the Boltok out for that pack-a-punch during a distance.
We'll see, because you know that Talon in a 1v1 over there, a helicopter be crazy, but it's also sometimes one of the best ways to still around, right? You know, find a mismatch somewhere in that power weapon, and usually that Boltok could be it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Boltok get placed by one of these teams going into the next round, and if the other forces up into a nade, that's the mismatch. But Bronny has an even matchup against Xploidz. No mismatches over here at B. But Xploidz may have something to say about it. he just wanted to say, hey, I might be mismatched over here against Bronny, because Bronny just ate me alive. Okay, Bronny takes the B hill over, and now he should just take position towards the top of the stairs and just play watch. Lookout, right? Just creep up, play lookout. Ain't much he has to do over here. Secret man in this corner. Yo, check this corner doing a major. Bronny may be hiding here. Okay, he wins a 1v1 against you. Look at this. Da-da-da-da.
Oh, no. Oh, he saw it.
He said, hold up, I don't feel right. He said, my spidey senses don't feel right now. Somebody hiding. And you see a championship move, a championship instinct there out of Mono.
Kardia. You see the players of the Pioneers, they can't necessarily even move forward. They lost Bronny. They're down a man, and he's going to spawn across the map, unable to help, and that's why you see them trying to split up their forces. Xysho and Bronny trying to go for that neutral. Meanwhile, they sense it from across the map. Rebel gets the information. This is the best chance they're going to get here as Hndles gets dropped. Acells soon to follow. Perfect execution of their advantage.
Now, Kardia decapping the A hill. B hill is going to be under Pioneer's control. So when these players come out from the home, they can just focus on A and this side of the map, because they know to the left is going to be cleared out for now. But Pioneer's got a lot of work to do. Monkyz got some help here. He'll be able to take down Bronny, and from there, Rebel still controlling 2 hills on this map. They're going to balance it out a little bit. They need a quick respawn. They need player 5 Xploidz to get to the fight as soon as possible. Also, Pioneers need to be reactive and take this C hill now. They should know that they have the numbers, but here comes Xploidz in the nick of time. Puts out just a good amount of pressure. Just enough. But Acells whole screen right. I don't know where this ticks off to, and the control goes to Pioneers. It was great rebuttals from both teams at the C hill, but that 1v1 down low really kind of opened it up and forced Pioneers to have to just hold what they have for now.
15 seconds. So short of a differential between these two. They need to get the decap to come through. It's going down to the wire. Monkyz gets the last laugh by taking out Acells. That capture is going to come to fruition. And that's Monkyz who's actually going across to try to get the decap. Hndles versus Monkyz. This is big, and Hndles has to be the aggressor, but he gets shut down. Monkyz will stand tall, and Rebel will win yet another round to go up 2-1 over the Pioneers.
Man, Rebel winning all these individual battles. Left and right, just such a great performance. But hey, just 2-1. On the flip side, you know, you got Acells leading the pack for his team, and we're gonna start to see Pioneers. They going over towards what I would deem, you know, their bad side of the first half. This is a must-win round for them. But we were talking about the mismatch and placements. Now's a great time to put out that Boltok. Have double the damage on the map. You don't need a nade right away. It's not the one thing you need to have in this situation.
Especially for the Pioneer side, you know, you put that Boltok up there, you're able to get that vantage where you can get the information about the people going across from home hill to C, but you're also able to put the damage on those players directly trying to contest that tank side of the map. So it's going to be a great pack-a-punch tool. It's about executing still, Blaze. You've seen them. As soon as a couple players go on one side of the map and there's a mismatch, just like you're seeing beginning to form here, that's when a team usually starts to take note and immediately go forward.
And we're seeing Rebel with the extra man at B. Player 7 still has a Lancer in this fight, but Xysho has a Retro. He says, I can hold off at least 2 of y'all. This is an even fight on this side of the map, letting his teammates know, take that A hill, take it with some confidence. We're all good down here. Xysho and Bronny, they moved in with a lot of confidence to take that B hill. Bronny with the double. And he says, yeah, we got that confidence for a reason. He captures the B hill, but the 2v2 fight was won by Rebel off the respawn up top. That's Kardia and Mono.
Like Bronny here backing up. Bronny needs to start getting this information. He spent a lot of time looking for ammo, which you need to do, but now he cannot overstep his boundaries. 2 Boltok shots gonna land, and that's gonna allow him that pressure and presence to try to back up, but the damage continues to fire out from Rebel. He tries to strike back, but he finally gets shut down. And now the other side of the map, you see them quick to react. They're trying to execute. They need to be able to be successful here and take down Monkyz quicker than ever.
They need to. They truly need to. Oh, he gets together. He's with Xploidz. They're safe. They says, hey, I got your revive. You got mine. Tighten up a little bit. Let's fight our way out. Kardia says, don't worry. I got a cross. I'm here. You need help? I'm where you need me at all times. Jacob, I think you can trust him like Allstate.
Oh, you can trust them. You can trust like Geico at this point to save you 50% or more on your car insurance. That's exactly how much you can trust guys like this, just like you can trust Bronny. Try to keep this one alive, buy you more time, and buy you an elimination on the crack like that, sending him back to the Shadow Realm.
Now you're going to have Pioneers holding the heals in which they have, and they get their home heal back also, but not for long. Xysho trapped between 2 different players, and Rebel, they'll be coming away with this round. They're going up 3-1, and that was so important because when you're the swarm team, you get back-to-back good sides from round 4 to 5, so they're just going to keep picking up that momentum going into the 5th, and Rebel showing that they're better on the round-based game modes today.
But that's been the thing about a lot of these Latin American rosters. It has been those round-based game modes to where they can pick themselves off, figure out what they did wrong, and really get back at it again. And yes, they're still good at control as well because it fits right into their nature of aggressive style of play, but a hammer burst? I would have thought for sure Boltok would have been something on the map just a little bit longer, maybe it being upgraded to a shock or an ensign in terms of the retro, but a hammer burst?
But you have to when you don't have no nades on the map, right? Because you can't have 2 retros. So they were forced to hammer burst only because no one put the nade down. No one wanted to put a nade down just yet. So I think really the positions you put your nade down is another level of IQ, which we don't go in depth too much more about now because we have one escalation map in our series. One escalation map in our series, map 3. But where that incendiary and that shock grenade is placed can tell a lot about how this map is played. But now with that power weapon on tank, you want to put your incendiaries as close to that fight as possible, or at least your shocks. Trip cap domination for Pioneers, and what a quick rebuttal as I was on my rant.
I mean, sometimes you need to have a quick rebuttal at the end of the day because timing is of the essence. 34 seconds though. Pioneers climbing back into this one, and this is almost deja vu. Very different game mode. Is a round-based game mode versus control. But you got to remember, it was Rebel who had the early leads in those controls, and it was the Pioneers round after round. I would say round after round, but moment after moment, hill after hill, they were able to complete the comeback.
I think they misplaced the shock. Nah, you go shock first. You go shock on the forward spawn, right? So you always have a free incendiary. Yeah, they agree with me on that one, okay? Because they say, yeah, we'll put our incendiary on the back, so we'll never have to give it up. If we lose a fight, we can always come out of spawn and have an incendiary close, and we always got a shot grenade to throw on the hill. So that was just too now for Pioneers. Here we go though. Acells out wide with Bronny and Xysho. They'll clean up the edge and clean up the kills. Now they're looking for a little bit more as they'll take their opponent's home heal, and that's all they want. They're not worried about anything else in this situation.
That initial fight for the torque boat, or the the tank and the sniper. That's what it almost looked like when they were in their championship caliber form, bull rushing, being all out aggressive to try to take control. They need to do a little bit more of that. And you can see, like you said, 2 hills to 1. They're trying to set up. Great shots from the Hammerburst from Monkyz to try to stagger and weaken Bronny, but it's the same shots that's allowing some separation as a cross comes in from the bottom, flanked by Crack, but he's gonna get spotted out, forced back as well as Bronny just trying to make the perfect moves for the roster.
Just trying to make those perfect moves for the team. And now you're going to end up having Hndles pick up a few. He got help from Xysho and Acells. They'll pick up 2 kills to be exact, and the last 2 kills in Spawn. That E-Hill, that's a free decap for player 2, and he got the mark. He shouldn't be able to cap. And he won't be able to. But it got scary there for Rebel just in that moment. But I think it's still a scary round for him. Especially, well, maybe not after getting those last 2 kills, because Rebel will find themselves 2 hills in this moment. But will 2 hills be enough in the late game? I don't think so.
No. You almost need that triple neutralization, and that's going to be even harder with Monkyz going down over the top. They're going to stagger him out, bleed him dry. You see the spot on the Xploidz. Even though that's not going to be damaged, they're going to have shot after shot after shot. So many attempts to try to put him down. And it's on the other side, though. It's going to be Rebel. They have 1 chance to make this round come through. And if any of these players get eliminated without something, it's going to be over. And I think that is basically going to seal the deal with Kardia going down.
1 chance, 1 opportunity. Don't want to miss out. But luckily for them, they got other rounds to play. But for this round, it's Pioneers are going to lock it up. Officially, no chances left in this round for Rebel. And we will be tied up 3-3 going into round number 7. No one will be able to make it to that D hill. Rebel knows it's just a tall task being able to climb those stairs on Bronny with that sniper in hand. And so Pioneers, they bring this series back to even. Rounds, I think they did get that momentum shift in that round 5, and this last round that went past. But
it's a lot of work is being put on the Monkyz here in this situation. Look at almost 20,000 damage when it comes to eliminations. But this is why Rebel, made that switch up even for Identives. Sometimes it wasn't strategy that they need. It's the brute force. It's the ability to send a player in as a wrecking ball and take down everything in its path. But with a couple of rounds towards the side, Pioneers are stopping that momentum that Rebel have been able to build. In fact, it's building up momentum of their own. 1v1, it's going to be Bronny versus Monkyz at the top side of the map. 3v3 elsewhere.
3v3 elsewhere. Towards the F hill and the D hill. Smack dead in between. 3 players, man on man, looking for anything. But they know how big of a 1v1 it is at F, and Mono with that Lantern Fire. Once he got a little bit of damage in first, he kept that pre-fire up all the way to the end of the clip until he can find a good position, a good opportunity to reposition. A brawl broken out on the other side of the map, just barely. We just see players shift, but it's just a fake. Still tight game. Is it the 1v1? Is it the 3v3? Pioneers in a strong defensive position. They're gonna let Bronny work the map. They say, we got all the time in the world for you, dog. Just keep making your play. Oh, just too high on the nade for Crack. Great effort. Too high. But I don't think that's gonna shake it up the way that they needed to. You see Hndles make some move on the edge, but that's just to shake up. That's just to look at him. Mono leaves because he doesn't get the flank. He flanks him.
Retro in the back. This is his chance. He shouldn't even stop and go for the hill, but it's actually he's going to go for it. Realizing the downs are going to come through. Almost a little too late to the party, but it's going to continue.
No, what an angle. What an angle.
The damage. There goes 1 elimination being cleaned up. Looking for more. Damage being on to Hndles, but it's Bronny who makes that around the world trip to try to keep them alive and stop the flank from coming through. And that propels the Pioneers to win that fight.
And they get F as well. It's up to Crack. He has 2 players weak in front of him. But as they get their life back, it's not much he can do as 3 players on top of the home hill, but 3 players quickly off the respawn. Acells says, get the hell out of here. Don't stay. I'm shooting to help. Too many flashes come out, but counter flashes come through for the Pioneers, as well as a flank from Xysho. He'll get 1 down. The cavalry moves up with some confidence, having their leader with them, and they'll decap the D hill. Do they take the lead in this series? They shall. It's 4-3 so far in this map. Not an official lead in the series, but the lead in the map is theirs.
4-3. One step closer. If they shut out this map, you got to imagine that's going to hurt the mentality of Rebel. Meanwhile, it's going to propel them because just like what Monkyz is able to do for Rebel, Acells is doing just that with a little bit of help from Xysho as well. From that 1-2 punch combo, Acells being the leader, being the guy that's going in and getting the eliminations, but Xysho is making sure that he has almost little to nothing to worry about anytime he enters that battlefield. Got grenades up there, ensigns up there. Monkyz maybe wanting something for that 1v1 towards the top. It's a Markza. It's Dutton Big Blaze, but you know as well as I do, this split we've seen Markzas go down and deal out a ton of damage and be so impactful throughout the course of the map.
Yeah, we know who plays that 1v1 position on that side of the map as well. So you'll have player 8. Oh, that Markza is quick pick. You got a 2v2 to start. You need player 6 and 5 to get on over and grab that sniper, but they have to deal with the nade from player 4, right? So that was a heads-up play for the Pioneers, utilizing their numbers. The Incendiary Hndles gets the down, but they get out. And Bronny actually goes down. He loses a 1v1 across map, but Acells quickly takes him out. But still, the power weapon comes out for Rebel, and I don't think they should have got away with that.
It looked a little bit too easy. Kardia already leaving on the ground. Xploidz, he has his role set in stone. And Bronny on the other side of the map, it wasn't too much that he went down. He lost the Markza in which they went and had their strategy really made for. The quick pick, get the capture, have a Markza, really read a bunch of damage from far away as Cell's going to get dropped first. Headshot followed up onto Bronny. He's going to get dropped, but it's going to be the hero as he saves the Cells for now. But that's saying for now because he gets dropped right after. Xysho is going to be the saving grace as Mr. Krabs' opportunity going to start but not finish.
Gonna start but not finish. Xploidz knows he has a lot to get done on his home hill to finish his assignment for his team. But across the map, you're gonna have Mono win his 1v1 and, you know, looking like he's gonna be on an on-roll once again as he's in another 1v1 and he's gonna win. You know, always at the top of the leaderboards in our pro league and all the categories in his performance. And now as he's holding down his heel once again, he's going to get some help from Crack, but Crack being chased by multiple. He doesn't get there in time, just in time to give Bronny a double kill. And Pioneers with the lead, Jacob. They can close this map out now, but we'll see if they can get it done.
Always get shut down. Opportunity closing. They still need that triple neutralization to come to fruition. They're able to get one onto the neutral. That's Xysho immediately trying to backtrack, realizing they need the triple neutralization Blaze. He's going to be that last-ditch effort on the other side, but Acells gets dropped, taken down. Hndles trying to even it up by taking down Monkyz, but that's their spawn point. That's where they're going to come back time and time again, trying to break through the defense.
All right, here we go. Now, as you see, Xysho, shot grenade is going to hit the hill. The Markza in the hands of himself, as they will be able to just back those players up and they will hold them off long enough, all right, to be able to lock this map in and win it 5-3. 4 straight rounds for the Pioneers. Once they got themselves in this position, once they got themselves, you know, once they figured out the flow of their opponent, got a few rounds on the board, Acells back on your screen, jumping jacks indeed. And, you know, he's showing that, hey, we're loose. We got you. We'll give you those jumping jacks, Blade. Great map from the Pioneers.
Yeah, and overall, even though you had Acells and Xysho leading in terms of damage, everybody was in close succession of one another, making sure everybody had the teamwork, they had the awareness, the wherewithal to help everybody no matter what came at them. And I think that's going to be big for them to kind of get the momentum on their side. My question is going to be for Rebel, though. Do they have more left in the tank? Because it's typically at this point, when you use a match that close, when you have a lead, as well as they did, where you falter, you begin to crumble mentally. And that's the biggest thing when it comes to Gears of War, is having the mental stamina.
Having that mental stamina today, and we'll see if Rebel has it. So, you know, one thing that we've seen in the game of rotations, in a game of numbers, right, of that respawn, it's been Pioneers who have been better than Rebel today. They've been a lot cleaner, and so I'm scared for Rebel going into this map number 4. You know, when we saw Rebel, you know, early in those initials, getting the power weapons, winning those fights and those numbers, those individual battles, like we saw in Execution, they were winning rounds, right? But they just couldn't win enough rounds to take this third map. So Rebel has to give it everything that they got going into map number 4 if they want to make it to that Canals where, you know, they have, you know, arguably the best sniper in the game and Xploidz on their team to be able to win it for them, to be able to put them in a great position. Also, Crack playing that secondary towards mid-bridge too as well is, you know, hey, they got a nice little 1-2 combo on the squad. So Rebel, you know, it's still there for them, but they got to be better at moving around the map as a unit.
Yeah, and honestly, even though I'm kind of saying Rebel at this stage of the game and the Latin American rosters in general begin to crumble when something like this happens, it's the last major of the season, the last Pro League day, and if you really want to be the best and have that trophy, crown yourself kings at the end of the day, you have to do something that's never been done and break that curse of getting down on yourselves at moments like this. And honestly, the way Rebel has been playing, not only today, but the past couple of days, and honestly, the entirety of the split, this could be their moment to create history.
Yeah, nah, this could be it. This could be the day. But we still have to find out, you know, what a great map this was, though. 8 great rounds, and, you know, it was a close battle until it wasn't. Pioneers up 2-1 in this series, and now we have to head on over towards Ritual Control. And, you know, the one play on Rebel that I was gassing up as we were about to head on over towards this map, you know, it has to be Crack, right? You know, when we see Crack have the speed in which Crack has been playing at today has been at a championship level pace. We'll say that, right? And so now he knows how much of a star he could be on Ritual Control. He knows the torque bow spawn like the back of his hand. His teammates can be trying to give him that power weapon, keep him on point, because if he's firing off on all cylinders, the Rebel, they can feed off of that. That's where Kardia, you're going to be able to open up some big kills for Kardia, you know, allow Mono to go out there and just harass people with his Lancer and put the pressure on them, and then just let Xploidz clean it all up, okay? Get multiple double kills and play right behind Crack. So, hey, it's all there for Rebel, but we'll see if they can get it done because the Pioneers, they got some shooters too.
Yeah, and the way this one has been playing, you know, from maps number 1, 2, even 3, this one, number 4 being Ritual on Control, CQC, very, very quick and decisive map. Honestly, if you're not on the same page, it will cost you. And it's really going to test both of these teams from what we've been able to see, even though it was a great comeback from the Pioneers, is how much on the same page, where you're timing at. Because Ritual, if you skip a beat once, you give up the hill, you give up the spawn point, a couple kills. It's going to be so hard to break through yet again. So this is going to be a wild map, but this could be a chance for the Pioneers to build that confidence right before the major and win it in 3-1. But on the other side for Rebel, it's tying it up, bring it to a map 5 and showing that those inconsistent ways of the past are no longer there.
Yeah, they're no longer there any longer. And, you know, you're a new squad, okay? You got Mr. Consistent on your team. So, you know, why would you be an old version of yourself, okay? Nah, this is the new look Rebel today. And they've been fighting hard, but they got to fight harder to be able to try to win this one in that map 5. And I'm pretty sure they're looking and saying, hey, if we can get there, right? Give it everything you got. Get us to the map 5 first. And then we'll go from there and see if we got the energy that we need to win it. Because I ain't gonna lie, I used to look at series like that, especially if Canals was map 5. Like if I saw Canals anywhere towards the mid map, map 4, map 5, I'm just like, yo, we good. Just worry about, we can give up a map in the beginning, okay? We got guaranteed maps at the back end of the cycle. Just get me there and I'll win you the map. And I'm pretty sure Xploidz feels the same way. So, hey, it's going to be the Crack Xploidz 1-2 combo between Ritual and Canals if Rebel comes out on top and wins it. And it'd be a great one for him.
Yeah, on the other side, though, the Pioneers, we've already seen Acells begin to awaken in that last match, along with Xysho, and then you have Bronny and Hndles, who are honestly just a wild couple of players getting in and out of players' faces in order to get the eliminations. They're not scared to get their hands dirty, and that's the thing about this entire roster, is they don't have trouble, you know, leading by example, because every single person knows what to do in every single one of those moments. So they don't have to wait for Bronny to come off of respawn to hold down a certain position, because Hndles can also hold down that exact same position and makes them a deadly squad to play against and one that's hard to plan against.
And, you know, what's even deadlier about that is, you know, having players that knows when their position is changing based off of when their teammates are respawning, where they are on the map and where their objective is. they know, they say, hey, where I am and where I see the marks and where I see my teammates are, forget the marks. You know, where you see your teammates are on the map, you kind of know what you need to be looking for, and you should know where your opponents are spawning at this level as well. So the roles are forever changing when it comes down to those respawn game modes, and I feel like that's a big reason why the Pioneers are so successful now in this series. Because the one thing that we talked about with Rebel early on was that I felt like everyone knew their role very well, right? And that's a big portion of their success. But sometimes you can feel that role too much.
Yep.
All right, you know, so. That's where, you know, luckily for them, though, Mr. Consistent plays every role, right? And so Mono is what's been making him that much better, being able to be that versatile on a team, and it's rubbing off on Kardia also. So, hey, you got a team that's a little bit more flexible, and you got a team that's a little bit, you know, kind of, you know, every soldier, you know, when they play their position well, the entire team is looking on fire.
Yeah, it's just almost looking like Crack and Monkyz are ready to fight any fight that is in front of them. 1v1, 1v2, 2v2. It doesn't matter if it's in their favor or not. They're ready to get scrappy at a moment's notice. And honestly, I think that change up Monkyz added to the roster, that aggressive mindset first, was a switch up that they needed, because you got to think about the other rosters that Xploidz and Kardia, who have also been a part of. They've been a part of that Fire and Ice roster that was actually getting a lot aggressive and almost close to winning a championship. They were a part of different versions of PK rosters, different versions of, like I said, Fire and Ice, Noble rosters. So there's more aggression in them as a roster, but you got to think that if you have somebody that isn't in line of how you want to play, it puts a speed bump, it puts a wrench into the mix to where you're not as smooth and fluent as you would be. You add in Monkyz and he falls perfectly in line. They're just trimming the corners. They're making sure the crust is cut so that way that they have the perfect sandwich. They have the perfect recipe for success.
Ooh, the perfect recipe for success. All right. You said it very, very well there, Jacob. And as you mentioned recipe, you almost got me thinking about food, you know, soon.
I'm always
yo, right? Yeah. You said it's on my way here. I can smell it. And I smell salmon upstairs right now. And, you know, hold up.
What else you got?
Potatoes. There's definitely potatoes. There's always potatoes going on in this house. And
potatoes are good. I love me some potatoes.
And broccoli?
Potato, mashed potato, French fry.
Something broccoli, maybe broccoli too, in the air.
I had broccoli the other day. It was only a couple pieces. It was a little bit overdone, but I still ate it.
Hey, you know, broccoli, you can eat broccoli raw. You know, it could be overdone. It could be, you just wanted a softer broccoli, right? You wanted your broccoli board.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't want to feel like I was
eating raw broccoli for the day. Yeah, that's not what you wanted. You get what you pay for, Jacob, okay? If they mess up your order, are you the type to go back and make sure you get it right?
Hell yes, I paid money for it.
There you go. I agree with that.
Without a doubt, if they put pickles on my Popeyes chicken sandwich, I'm returning it, because I could take the pickles off, Blaze, right? But the pickle residue and the taste is still gonna be there, and that's the reason why I didn't want it, because I didn't want to taste it.
And so you gonna pop a Yui in the drive-through line, all obnoxious. You gonna cut every car and just drive straight to the front and say, "Hey, I asked for no pickles." Okay?
Exactly.
I feel that. Okay. And you'll put pickles in. So you better finish my order first, because I got to go. And as we see the Pioneers act like they got to go as well, as that was a quick initial from them. They'll lock in the torque bow. It's in the hands of Hndles. And now they're going to try to spread out for the next spawns as well, excuse me.
Everybody trying to disperse. 2 players in through the middle when it comes to Rebel, and then 1 each on the outside. But it's going to be Monkyz who's actually spotted out, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. You spot out Monkyz, you'd think Pioneers will try to put more eggs into that basket to try to get the elimination, which you see they're doing. Hndles trying to backtrack, but that alleviates the pressure. 3v2, Kardia already gets 1, pushing forward for more. Xysho getting weakened. Hndles trying to make a miracle play, but it's not going to be enough. In fact, it's going to be the opposite. Kardia gets the double kill, and Rebel get the time on the hill.
Rebel, some much needed time. They need more of that much needed time too as well, and they're gonna get a little bit of that, a little bit of good stuff, right? But they only can sip a little bit of it, because they need to get to the next hill and get there plenty. Now Xysho, as he'll be flanking 2 players here towards mid-map. It's a quick revive, but can they survive? They cannot. Mono's gonna drop back. He loses Xploidz, but can he get his team to close spawn? You see that pressure from Bronny. He ran into position to cut him off. He says, I know where you at. All right. Great plays so far from the Pioneers.
Kardia, you see him. Kardia's gonna be the first one they spotted out. But he has to wait for the rest of his team to begin to spread out the defense. You can't have all 3 players in that close defensive quarter for the Pioneers and expect to come out on top. And you see Hndles trying to chase a couple players back. But you see while all this is going down, 50 seconds on the clock, that's all the Pioneer scoreline that they're accumulating.
Yeah, all in their favor. Now, as you have a 2v2 fight in the hill, Bronny got 2 players' attention right now. Oh, free shots in their backs. He'll work with his teammate to get the downs, trying to dodge the shots from the bow. But it's Mono who'll have to just back up, join his teammate, and going towards the next hill, because even if you use the bows, right, to press forward, get the kills, by the time you get to the next hill, you only got about 20 seconds or so to work with.
Shutdown from Monkyz. It's going to go on this side of the map. So being that tip of the spear, being one of the first people there is so important, but he has another player having his eyes on him. That's Hndles. He's getting forced back. Crack trying to hit him with the sideline. 2v1 on that side of the map while they're still trying to contest this time. There's only 16 seconds on the side of Rebel, and they're trying to minimize the opportunity for Pioneers to give themselves an even bigger lead.
So far, that mitigation hasn't been good enough as the lead's just spiraling out of control. But hey, on P3, Rebel got plenty of time to turn around, and the bow is the perfect weapon to have for the mitigation. But not enough splash damage coming out from that first. And with him playing the low side, I like that bow going a little bit deeper. It forces back Bronny, allowing his teammates to get some points and allowing Pioneers to push back into the hill. This is what Rebel wants. They want them to get aggressive and to make the first move. Right now, Rebel's okay, so we don't got to do too much. If you're not going to fight us, then don't fight us, but we're going to just stay here and collect on time. Hndles playing that corner. Great shot over the top. Pioneers has the meat shield, and they should be able to move in and get these final 2 kills. It's looking like it's just as good to be true. Looking real good. Yeah, and it is. It came true.
They got caught in each other in the last second. I still don't think they survive it. Acells just had an immaculate angle towards the top side. So the deeper they got into the hill, the more damage they were actually going to take. So even though it's only scrap time, that one's going to go in way of Rebel as they double up the lead yet again. To say it's going to go over to Pioneers, who are doubling up the lead, almost looking to triple it up, but Crack getting that torque bow. He's one player you said after that last map, beginning to heat up with these power weapons, that he has to execute here. Without a single elimination to his name so far, he has to start making up for it.
Yeah, he needs to get on the board. You know, I put some pressure on his back. I said, you know, this is his superstar map, right? We see him take over with the bow. We see him make big plays for his team, but, you know, after 3 hills, after, you know, 200 points acquired so far between both teams, he don't got a kill. All right, game almost halfway over. But as he's holding the hill with his squad, he'll get a deep smoke to block the lane, but plenty of players already past the smoke. The collapse comes in. Crack finds a kill on the Acells. He's trying to get the ball rolling as he's moving around, staying mobile. Kardia gets the quick revive. 2v2 in the hill. Big kill coming out here for Mono. Big pistol down. Doesn't get the pistol down, but there's a double melee. His teammates are in the building to clean up both of those kills. And now Rebel is in a good spot to get some more time.
Lashes, they're trying to keep Bronny at bay, not allowing him to be too much of an impact here as they're trying to hold on to 30 seconds that are left. What Rebel absolutely needs on the side of the Pioneers, contesting it is A-OK as Bronny gets chopped down. Xysho gets knocked. That's 2 eliminations being cleaned up, and you see Hndles trying to make the sneaky play that gets spotted out from miles away. 20 seconds left for grabs, and already it's Xysho and the rest of the Pioneers going to be first to try to get the next hill.
Now, as you're going to have Pioneers surrounding his hill, they're in a great spot. Acells with that stun just playing out wide, knowing he has some help from his teammates. But, you know, they didn't get that down on Crack when they needed to, and he had to reload. That allowed the revive to come in and Crack to reload as well. So now Rebel gets a little bit of a saving grace from some blunders there on the side of the Pioneers. It's not official until they take down Xysho. But now they got a 3v2 of these players behind them who just flipped the spawn. Yep, Pioneer spawn close.
Which is good for the Pioneers in terms of coming back, but Torque bow in the hands of Xploidz could be dangerous, especially since he's getting information. Players behind, players in front, one sneaking up. Great shot gonna be landed, but Xysho lands a better one, taking down Xploidz. Hndles gets one as well, but the comeback is there with Kardia trying to trade it away, but the hills changed hands. Pioneers now have control.
Just that quickly. Put themselves back in position, back in the driver's seat, back on that defensive stance where they just get to allow their opponents to play into their crosshairs. But Rebel don't mind it right now. They're annoyed, they're ticked off, but they know they have to make some big plays. So even when their screens get red and that damage is coming through, they're doing their best to navigate it. They're gonna have to try again on the next team fight though.
What you gotta do, you gotta try again. Hndles versus Crack. Hndles getting crossed in the back though. He gets dropped. Acells trying to save the day. Revive's gonna come to fruition. Kardia tries to go for it, but he gets chopped down. Acells once again on different pages from him and Hndles tries to go for the elimination, but he gets dropped, forcing Hndles to turn and try to run while the hill is getting kind of captured by Rebel. They're going deep into the spawn to try to get the position as well.
And as they should, you want to be able to clear out these spawns and have your back towards the wall, and Crack playing the edge and find himself one kill, possibly two. But you know, you saw when Xysho turned that corner, he kind of faked him a little bit. Big double kill from Crack, and now he's positive, right? We saw him in the first 200 points of his game. He didn't have a single kill, but you know, over the last 150 points, he got 8 to his name, and he's looking to build off of that. This is exactly what Rebel needed, and they broken that 100-point marker. 50 points left in this hill. Player one, I'm not playing close enough to it to get him. Now he finally gets a foot in the hill. As Rebel is fighting for this torque bow, they got the numbers as well. 1v1, players 1 and 8. Bronny versus Xploidz. A low spawn comes in play for Pioneers.
Gotta be careful now, because now Crack's by himself in no man's land. He's getting converged on from all angles. Gonna get dropped as well. 2 players here. Short spawn not gonna be rewarded as Xploidz spawns across the map. Monkyz gets one, unable to achieve the back-to-back as he gets dropped. It makes it harder for Kardia to survive, who also gets lost in the fray. Torque bow switching hands, 2 in the quiver for Bronny. Everything looking great for the Pioneers, who lead this map to close out the series.
I felt that blind fire. I felt it in my side. You know what I'm saying? Some shots.
Oh man, hurts.
Yeah. It hits everybody who watches him. Hndles finds a kill there on Mono, and it's a 4v3 on the map here. Pioneers, they're relaxed. They're set up for next as well. They can win off this hill, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of action before the end of this one. They don't get all 70 points, right? They don't get all 70 points. They're in a position to. No one touched the hill so far.
5 points. 5 points is the difference off of this hill. So they needed, really honestly, for Rebel, get 1 decap, and then it will not be winnable. And of course, they want to do more than that and stop them from getting even more points. But you have to take it step by step, Blaze. And for Rebel, it starts with this first step. 3 players gearing up for the push towards the backside, and Kardia across the map by himself. Very, very dangerous as Hndles. He's going to be that tip of the spear and the first player that goes down.
They needed 70 points. It's 75 on a hill, but with that missed bow, I think that'll, we're definitely going to see ourselves another hill after that one. He gets that killed, and I see them kind of holding a 2v2, but instead, Rebel, they can get the scrap time, and then they can also get themselves a new bow to work with. So this is looking good for Rebel, putting themselves on a rotation and move on over here towards next. I think player 2 is just, he's not getting his team the maximum time that they need, but did he at least get the bow? He did, right?
Yep. All right. He's got something for that.
He got something for that.
And the connection.
There you go. There's 2 kills coming out for Kardia. Now they're going to get the last 4-5 seconds. He says, I'm over here. I might as well, but, you missed out on 10. Every second counts when you're down by 100. But Kardia, 3 bowls to his name. Going to have the Pioneers moving through the top portion of the map. Their first target is going to be Mono. He has a Lancer. Crack's going to move on over to help him, and we see Kardia with 2 bowls left. Lots of sight lines, mainly looking towards his window here. Just misses Xysho.
There's a chance, though. The splash damage is good, but hits him in the toe. Gonna be ingrown as Kardia gets the elimination, but it's immediately backfiring. He's gonna fall. Crack is down. Hndles doing what he can, but Bronny with the World Star play to take out Xploidz. Almost every player is down and out, and the last one is gonna be Kardia. Does he have what it takes? Does he have his Nikes on to try to reach the hill? Because he's the last hope that Rebel have.
The last hope. And now Kardia. He has to be as annoying as an ingrown toenail, but I don't know if he is that annoying. He will buy his team a little bit more time to think about it. You got 18 points left on that hill. And now we need to move on over towards next. Pioneers just need 3 points. Acells, he says, hey, I'm here next. Keep our numbers. We're going to fight this one towards the end. A nice little flash of Ricochet, but he didn't get a stun off of it. A full spread and a half a spread. Xploidz is weak. They got a flank. They will take down the meat shield. Here comes Crack. Can he save the day? Big down. But that's the only... Oh, he goes for the right kill on the player in the back. But the Pioneers in map number 4 will take this series in a 3-1 fashion. Are we going to see it again? Where the jumping jacks? Oh, it's actually Xysho is MVP.
Now he realized it was a little bit more messy than they would have hoped. He's like, don't worry, Blaze. We cleaned it up for you. We cleaned it up.
PE class is over. The janitors is here now, okay? PE is over. Everyone, take the bus home. It's a Pioneers victory. Great job, and I feel like that's one that they needed too. Rebel had some good games tonight. They had some good fights, and I feel like maybe they did take a step back from last night, but not too much of a step back from last night in that 3-0 victory that they had against PK. I just feel like they were outmatched against a better Respawn team today. All right? They won that head-to-head Wolfpack matchup against PK, that slugfest. But when it came down to the strategical matchup, the game of rotations, the game of teamwork, Pioneers had them on the edge tonight, and that's why they were able to take the escalation. That's why they were able to take both controls.
Yep, and even though the execution was a little bit of a switch up, you got to give it to Rebel for that map overall. I think they controlled the pace, they controlled the tempo, and they forced the Pioneers to kind of switch up strategies here and there that were just not successful. Even when they ran their 4 all-out pushes, 2 different defensive plays were successful from Rebel. So when it comes to execution, I think they have their eyes on the prize. They know how to close it out, but it's these objective style modes, the escalation and controls that they got to clean up to create a little bit more consistency.
Agreed. That's exactly what they need. And hey, they clean that up. They'll be in a great play. They'll be in a great spot. And you know, they got a little bit of time to do so before the major comes around. But you know, that's gonna wrap up Rebel's Pro League performance. You know, they put on a show over these last few weeks. You know, but good job to Pioneers. Big win for them. They needed that one in the standings, and I think that should get them top 4. But we'll see those towards the end of the show today, Jacob.
Does that get them? I don't know if you were talking about Rebel. I'm like, where does that put the Pioneers?
Rebels was top 2 coming into the day.
Yeah, they were second coming to the day. Maybe they dropped, maybe like you said, 4. I just want to know where that puts the Pioneers, because for the first time we were talking about outside of the top 5 for the first time since the team has come together and formed. So it's gonna be surprising if they actually do continue to stay out of that bubble.
Yeah, it is. They definitely won a head-to-head matchup with the second place team, right? So if those scores are tied, we know that they will trump over Rebel in the standings, and which makes things just, you know, exciting here towards the end of the night. So good job there for the Pioneers getting that victory in. But we got some more games to be played here today. We got Rising and United at the later portion of the night. But before we get there, we will get a chance to take a look at our side station. But before we will do that, we are going to go throw to a quick break. And when we come back, we got some more Gears action.